The film opens with a montage of news reports detailing Earth's desperate struggle against the mimics. These creatures first arrived via meteor strike in Germany, rapidly spreading across Europe and devastating entire armies. The world's nations unite under the United Defense Force, UDF, an international military coalition designed to counter the alien threat. The tide of war seems to turn when humanity invents mechanized exoskeleton combat suits, known as jackets, which give soldiers enhanced strength and firepower. A hero emerges, Sergeant Rita Vrataski, known as the Angel of Verdun, who leads humanity to its first major victory. Her legendary status inspires hope that the mimics can be defeated. Now, the UDF is preparing for Operation Downfall, a massive beach invasion meant to reclaim Europe from the aliens. We are introduced to Major William Cage, a smooth-talking military PR officer who specializes in propaganda rather than combat. His job is to sell the war effort to the public by appearing on television and spinning positive narratives. Cage is charismatic but cowardly. He has never seen actual combat and has no intention of doing so. He arrives in London to meet General Brigham, the head of the UDF, expecting to discuss PR strategies. Instead, Brigham orders him to report to the front lines and join the invasion as a soldier. Cage panics and tries to talk his way out of it, even attempting to blackmail the general. Brigham responds by having him arrested and stripped of his rank. Cage wakes up handcuffed at a military base at Heathrow Airport, where he is dumped in front of Master Sergeant Farrell, a tough and disciplined officer who assumes Cage is a cowardly deserter. Farrell assigns him to J Squad, a ragtag group of misfit soldiers who have no respect for Cage. He is thrown into a combat jacket, given minimal training, and sent to the battlefield with no way to escape. The next morning, the invasion begins. The UDF's forces storm the beaches of France, mimicking the historical D-Day landings. However, the mission quickly turns into a bloodbath. The mimics were expecting them. Cage, completely unprepared, stumbles onto the battlefield. His exosuit malfunctions, he barely understands how to use his weapons, and he watches his squad mates get slaughtered around him. Amid the chaos, Cage encounters an alpha mimic, a rare and more powerful variant of the alien species. Desperate, he grabs a mine and detonates it, killing both the alpha and himself. Instead of dying permanently, Cage wakes up back at Heathrow Airport, handcuffed and confronted by Farrell once again. He is confused and disoriented, realizing that everything is happening exactly as before. No one believes his story, and he is once again sent to battle. As the invasion repeats, Cage watches people die in the exact same way. This time he tries to avoid his previous mistakes, but he still dies. He wakes up again at Heathrow. Over multiple loops, he begins to understand that he is trapped in a time loop, forced to relive the day each time he dies. During one loop, Cage encounters Rita Vrataski on the battlefield. Unlike the others, she notices something unusual about him. Before they both die, she tells him, "Find me when you wake up." In the next loop, Cage tracks down Rita at the military base. She surprisingly believes him and takes him to Dr. Carter, Noah Taylor, a scientist who has studied the mimics. Dr. Carter explains that the mimics operate as a hive mind, with 3 levels: drones, the common foot soldiers; alphas, rare, powerful mimics that serve as commanders; the Omega, the central brain, controlling all mimics. Whenever an alpha is killed, the Omega resets time, allowing the mimics to anticipate human strategies and remain unbeatable. However, since Cage absorbed the alpha's power, he now resets time instead. Rita once had the same ability during the Battle of Verdun, which is why she won. However, she lost it after receiving a blood transfusion. Now, the only way to defeat the mimics is to find and destroy the Omega, which Cage begins seeing visions of. a hidden location under the Louvre Pyramid in Paris. Rita begins training Cage in combat, but the process is brutal. Every time he fails, she kills him to reset the day. This leads to humorous yet horrifying montages of Cage dying hundreds of times, sometimes from enemies, sometimes from training mistakes. Over time, Cage perfects his skills, becoming an elite fighter. He memorizes battle sequences, enemy placements, and tactics, using his resets to outmaneuver the mimics. However, every attempt to reach the Omega ends in failure. During one mission, Cage is injured and given a blood transfusion, permanently losing his ability to reset. Now they only have one chance to destroy the Omega. Cage and Rita recruit J-Squad, steal an aircraft, and fly to Paris, where they infiltrate the Louvre. The team is killed one by one, leaving only Cage and Rita. Rita sacrifices herself, allowing Cage to reach the Omega. As he dives into the water, an alpha mimic fatally wounds him, but he pulls the pins on a belt of grenades, dropping them onto the Omega. The Omega is destroyed, and all the mimics die. Instead of dying, Cage wakes up before his arrest, but something is different. The war is already won. The Omega was somehow destroyed in the past, meaning the mimics never counterattacked. Cage visits Rita, but she doesn't remember him. He smiles, knowing that humanity has won,